We have been listening to spokesperson John Kirby with the U.S. State Department defending the Obama administration's decision to classify 22 emails sent from former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton's private server, classifying those emails as top secret. Not to be released to the public because of that classification. This is now developing into an interesting sort of battle between Hillary Clinton's campaign for president 3 days before Iowa and the State Department. The former Secretary of State saying that this is overclassification run amok. Her campaign saying they firmly oppose this decision. It, of course, goes against the heart of Mrs. Clinton's defense of her email practices. We want to bring in our CBS News Foreign Affairs correspondent, Margaret Brennan, at the White House for more on this. Margaret, what is the significance of this development just 3 days before the Iowa caucuses?
Well, timing's everything here. And for the State Department, they have been incredibly backed up. They had workers coming in even over the snow days that virtually shut down all of Washington, D.C., trying to get some of these emails sorted through. They're literally doing this by hand because Hillary Clinton, when she handed over her emails, didn't give them on a disk. She handed out pieces of paper, and you have 55,000 pieces of paper here that have now been uploaded and sorted through by individuals at the State Department. But this is not just the State Department that's weighing in. The interagency is the term you heard John Kirby use. That means people in the intelligence community also get to say whether or not the information contained in the emails should be considered of a certain classification level. And what we heard today is that those emails, at least of the bunch being sorted through, 7 email chains are being withheld. They're not being classified, they're being withheld because there's some disagreement. In the intelligence community, there are some who say this information is top secret. State Department saying we didn't think it was top secret at the time, or at least we didn't label it as such when it was sent to Hillary Clinton. And the State Department says they're still reserving some judgment here to determine whether that information now should be considered top secret. That's the classification they're using. All of this sounds very complicated, but what you're basically getting into is an argument within the bureaucracy in Washington, within the intelligence community, over who generated the information and whether that content should have been put on a private server and not kept on a government one, as is required under the law, many believe. Hillary Clinton said this information was not marked classified, therefore, I didn't do anything wrong.
At what point can we expect to get resolution to this, to get administrators to agree on whether or not this information was top secret and classified?
Well, it's not clear. I mean, today was a court-ordered deadline because under the Freedom of Information Act, these federal records are supposed to be shared with the public when requested. So it was a court that said, State Department, stop dragging your heels, make these things public. And Hillary Clinton said, yes, I'd like all of my emails to be out there, not just those specifically being requested due to content. So they missed that deadline. State Department says they couldn't do it because they had so many emails. They also said it got complicated because of this disagreement. They've asked for a 1-month extension. Whether or not they can make that end of February date is unclear, and whether this argument will be resolved by then is also unclear. There are many on Capitol Hill who are arguing about this. And you also, just to add another layer of, sorry, it's getting windy here at the White House, to add another layer of complication to this, the State Department also said today they're going to withhold more emails, specifically those exchanged between the President of the United States, Barack Obama, and Hillary Clinton at the time. 18 emails, 8 different email exchanges. And that, the content of those emails could be withheld for 5 to 12 years after President Obama leaves office, according to the Presidential Records Act. So some of this may be dragged out for quite some time. Obviously, this could have some consequence if the voters who are, weighing in on these this early sort of polling of Hillary Clinton out in Iowa, whether they determine this should impede her or not in her bid to become the next president of the United States.
As you said, Margaret, timing is everything. The former Secretary of State has been defending her email practices for some time now. This all happens 3 days before the Iowa caucuses. Hillary for America released a statement in response to this, saying in part, "We firmly oppose the complete blocking of the release of these emails. Since first providing her emails to the State Department more than 1 year ago, Hillary Clinton has urged that they be made available to the public. We feel no differently today." The statement continues, "This appears to be overclassification run amok. We will pursue all appropriate avenues to see that her emails are released in a manner consistent with her call last year." So, what kind of impact do you think this could have on the campaign? And what are Hillary's campaign managers, what is their fear at this time?
Well, that statement you just read from her campaign, it's kind of, it's not clear what the impact will be, because while they are calling and saying Hillary Clinton has asked for these to be released, it actually wasn't up to her. It was the court that ordered that these be made public by certain dates. By today, they were all supposed to be out there. Now we're going to wait until February. So yes, she's called for it, but that wasn't a favor. That's the Freedom of Information Act, that reporters like you and I can go and the public can write requests saying, share these public records with me. This extra level of dumping everything out there and putting it on a website was going above and beyond. This is virtually unprecedented when it comes to certainly the Obama administration and how the State Department has handled emails in the past. Whether this matters or not to the public at large, so far there's not been anything in the content of those emails that has really caused a big problem for Hillary Clinton on the campaign trail. It's not clear if it will now, but as you know, with so much, perception becomes reality. If people are perceiving this to be breaking the law, breaking the rules, asking for special treatment, as many on the right have alleged, and many critics of Hillary Clinton have alleged, that could become a problem for her. But at this point, the White House is saying she specifically is not the target of an FBI investigation, and so far, there has not been proof that she's broken the law.
Margaret Brennan for us at the White House. Margaret, thank you so much. We appreciate it.